to speak for very long because Liberals have now been stalling for 3 weeks. So any fault of the pre-budget hearings not being held, and yes, it's true that under this government, like under the previous Conservative government, pre-budget hearings are basically ignored. We've had people coming forward for years making very specific and important policy suggestions that have just been cast aside. That being said, it's an important tool. And the only reason we're not in the process of doing pre-budget hearings now is because Liberal members of this committee, government members, do not want to hold a vote on a privilege motion. Now, the sub-amendment is designed to basically kill. It's a kill amendment. It kills the privilege motion. And what's important for the public to understand, and certainly any member of the Canadian media that are tuning into this finance committee, is that the privilege motion actually provides the Speaker of the House of Commons, somebody who is elected by every member of Parliament. We hold these elections at the beginning of each Parliament. All members of Parliament have one vote. We elect a Speaker. We trust that Speaker with questions such as privilege. And so this motion, if the Liberal members actually permit us to have a vote, would then allow the Speaker to rule. So what could Liberal members be afraid of? When it's the impartial Speaker that looks over the evidence that's presented by the committee and makes a decision. I cannot understand why Liberal members have been now plugging up the works for 3 weeks, refusing to hold a vote on this matter when it's the Speaker, ultimately the rules. All we're saying is let's get the Speaker the opportunity to rule on this motion of privilege. At the same time, it's very clear that the law clerk, again, independent, should be able to take a look at the unredacted, uncensored documents. And when over 1,000 pages have been censored or redacted, there is matter of some concern about getting to the bottom of this. This is what parliamentarians should be doing. The sub-amendment is designed to kill the privilege motion. It is designed to basically delay for weeks, if not months, any logical conclusion on this. And as you know, Mr. Chair, if a privilege motion is not directed to the Speaker within a timely period, it kills the motion of privilege. So let's not split hairs here. What we are doing with this sub-amendment, what the Liberals are doing, is trying to kill the motion of privilege. That's
Julian,
what they're attempting to do.
Point of order coming in there from who? Mr. Severa?
I thank you, Chair. I think I'm being subbed in for Mr. Zurvitz. I believe what Mr. Julian is actually arguing. I think that my understanding is the sub-amendment does not in any way impact the privilege motion. Can we get a clarification on that, Chair?
Your argument, Mr. Julian, is it impacts the privilege motion, is it not?
Absolutely. And that's why it's been proposed. And Liberal members know that.
But my ruling is it really doesn't. It delays the privilege motion. If somebody wants to read what it really says, it delays the privilege motion until the evidence is such that the privilege motion should be put forward. That would be my opinion. Mr. Julian.
And Mr. Chair, that is exactly my point. Privilege is something that needs to be presented within a timely period. So the sub-amendment is designed to delay the motion of privilege, which means effectively it kills the motion of privilege, because if you bring it back at a time that is not timely, the Speaker has an obligation, according to long parliamentary tradition, to disallow it. And so let's be very clear and very frank about what the government members are attempting to do. They're attempting to kill a motion of privilege. They are attempting to remove from the Speaker and from parliamentarians the right to rule on this. And for the committee to have a vote, and I believe firmly that this is a question of privilege, for the committee to have a vote only requests of the Speaker to make a ruling on this. And this is what I find the most outrageous part of this, Mr. Chair. Not only are government members delaying the work of the Finance Committee, and there are many other things that we could be working on, but they are also attempting to kill a motion of privilege that would allow the Speaker to rule on this. If it is true that Liberal members really just want to get this to an impartial judge, the Speaker, elected by all members of Parliament, is the best person to make that judgment. So I would ask through you, Mr. Chair, to government members, please stop delaying, please stop stalling, allow the vote to be held, and allow the Speaker then to take this into consideration and make his judgment on whether or not this is a bona fide question of privilege. All that the committee can do is advise the Speaker about what happened. It is up to the Speaker to make that decision. Let's not make it for him. Let's have the vote, provide the report, and let's see what the Speaker rules.
Thank you. I'm going to clarify a little of what I said. I do not see this as a delay to deny the point of privilege, Mr. Julian. I see it as it's outlined in the sub-amendment to the amendment. It's to gather the evidence to see if there's a point of privilege from the Finance Committee's point of view. That's what I see it as.
That's debate, Mr. Chair, and I would disagree with you on that.
On that, I guess we disagree. Okay.